Thought this comment was pretty interesting. From Bob.
Bob. That sort of name suits him, doesn't it, Bob?
What has Lee done for bodybuilding? In the grand sense, nothing. Now I think this is pretty harsh.
But I guess Bob and I have something in common after all.
No, look, we get a lot of great comments from all around the world how you've inspired so many people from all walks of life, from all age groups, to start training and get into bodybuilding, or even just getting healthy and training. And I think that's sounds like a bitter comment there, doesn't it? No, if we're talking about bitter comments, that sounds pretty bitter, because like you say, even at my show yesterday, I don't know how many people, Jade's been with me, that we run into that have said it's because of you I got into training, it's because of you, you've changed my life. I've had people that have been depressed or overweight and changed their life because they've read an article about me, or someone's brought me to their attention due to the video clips and stuff. And then I've had, like at the show yesterday, so many people, when I was 12 I saw a magazine, you're on the cover of it and got me inspired in the bodybuilding, you got me into this. And my comment is always back, don't blame me for your stupidity and stuff, but I just joke around. But yeah, so like I said, he said I've done nothing for bodybuilding. Well, to me it just sounds like a bitter comment coming from Bob, because really what's Bob done for bodybuilding? When you look in the scheme of things, if we're going to really look at it, compared to what bodybuilding has done for Bob. So, like I said, I've made a good career and living from bodybuilding, yes, but like I said, it wasn't from playing the games, it wasn't from doing whatever, it's just from me being me. I competed where I wanted to compete, I did what I wanted to do, I said what I wanted to say, and like I said, yes, it could land me in trouble, yes, it could get me suspended, but I didn't change for no one, thinking about the almighty dollar like Bob does, sits down and plays a political game. And what's really Bob done? He says he's the athlete's rep, he reckons he's made changes and made change to that. Bob hasn't really done shit. He can say whatever, and most athletes, some say they like Bob, some say they don't. What some athletes say to you, or used to say to me, and then I would see him talking to Bob, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. From what he just said about Bob, now he's talking to Bob, or what they say about Bob, then they will write somewhere else, oh no, Bob's a great guy, which he could be a great guy. Bob and I have always just had interactions where it's been, hi, hello, how you going, general, good chit chat, we've never been best of friends and stuff like that. And like I said, Bob's in that position where he does MCing jobs for IFBB. He's pretty much, like I said, known Jim Mannion from this age since he was little. So, of course Bob's going to be on that side when that's what, he's making income from him. And like I said, what's Bob done for bodybuilding? Well, maybe Bob's got fans out there who he's inspired, I'm not going to say he hasn't, but just make that comment about me in the grand scheme of things, saying that I've done nothing for bodybuilding, well, that just shows who the bitter one is, really. And also,
maybe he just got an extra $50 from the IFBB for saying that. Maybe he gets, paid. And
one thing that one of the reasons why, we like, getting you down here is because you've got a great message for young bodybuilders about, steering clear of drugs, don't abuse them, lead a healthy lifestyle, don't go out partying, don't go out drinking. And I
always steer them in the direction too, it's just like train, enjoy it, have fun doing it. Don't be like, you can still train heavy and hard without being crazy. Just being crazy, throwing weights on and screaming isn't hardcore, that's stupid. And you don't need to be bodybuilding 24/7, where that's all you think about and talk about. You need to have the outside life as well from bodybuilding. So, it's just like, what we're going to say.
I was going to say, well, like this, watching like young guys that watch these videos, I've got an example that I forgot about. I've got a friend that owns a muffin shop, and she done some muffins up for us for the show, which she donated just to help out. And she said to me, the only thing I would like you to do, she goes, you ran into a young guy the other day, and he came up to Lee and he was grateful to meet him, said he watched his movies and the Sam's videos and all that. I think it was a food court at Guitar or something like that. Anyway, she said it was because of Lee that her son's alive today. And I got a message yesterday off the lady from the muffin shop giving me her mum's number, asking if Lee could just give him a call, because it's because of Lee that he's alive today, and how much he looks up to Lee and he watches his Sam's fitness videos. He said he loved, he even said that, he goes, I watch your videos all the time, but we just thought it was just another fan. And then it came to us, I
think that lady saw the donation box, didn't she?
Yeah, she saw the donation box that Lee's doing for Dancing with the Stars, and she goes, oh, my son, she started telling her the story, and she's like, oh, they're good friends of ours. And yeah, so it just came about that this young guy that said hello and watched the videos was, you know, going through depression. It nearly took his life, and got into bodybuilding and started watching these videos, and yeah, something simple like that.
Yeah, look, and you know, what we discussed last time you were down, how you were all for drug testing, and you know, that'd be great for bodybuilders' health and make the sport, you know, a bit
even if I said it, you know, drug testing would never happen. I said I'm all for it if it did ever happen, but I said even if it didn't ever happen, like I said, I've always been for, okay, if you get to the point you've got to use it, okay, use, never abuse it. And then if you are going to use it, I've always been for, you know, regular checkups. Go get your liver checked, get your blood checked, get cholesterol checked, get your heart checked every 6 months. Go get these things done. Get it done when you're on the gear, get it done when you're off the gear, because so many guys, okay, even might take a safe amount of gear, but to each person a safe amount of gear could be different. So even if you do take small amounts like myself, Jay can tell you, every 6 months till I get my blood work done, I get physicals and all that sort of stuff. So you should do. Where I've got friends who are bodybuilders who take gear, they're like, no, I'm not going to the doctors, you know, what I don't know can't hurt me type attitude, where to me that's just stupid. So if you are going to be in the point where you do have to use it safely, but then on top of that, go get regular checkups so you can be on top of something, rather than if you don't know what's going on and you just keep doing this and the doctor, you finally go, okay, I don't feel good, I'm going to get a test, and the doctor says to you, well, if you had to come here a year ago, 6 months ago, we could have caught this thing, but too late now. So
yeah.
You just got to be smart with the whole thing, you know.
And even like, you know, speaking out against out about the symmetry, and you know, encouraging a more healthy look instead of the mass, you know, that's not healthy as well. And I just think, you know, these messages of
well, like I said, whether it be about the politics in the sport, bad judging in the sport, I've never attacked anyone personally, a judge or a promoter or anything like that, but it's always just been about the sport in general. So to me, to get a lifetime suspension over just speaking the truth, or my version as Bob would say, it's just like stupid, because my version is pretty much everyone else's version. That the only sad thing is other people don't speak up about it because they want to stay in the IFBB or they want to keep competing, whereas like I said, if they all did speak up about it, the IFBB, what are they going to do? Suspend every athlete? If every athlete on the Olympia day, the day before, said we're not walking on stage, what are they going to do? Cancel the show? So they can't suspend all the top athletes because then they have no shows. So like I said, the athletes have the power to make changes if they all stood together. They did it in baseball years ago. I remember in America they went on strike. So that's a multi-billion-dollar business over there, more than bodybuilding. They finally learned that, hey, wait a minute, you know, we've got the power here. It's like even if it came down to steroids in baseball, where they, you know, start fining athletes. It's like, you know, there's so much wear and tear on the body. Sometimes people just take them for recovery, you know, sports injuries, which they're mostly used for, because you're out there playing all the time. Could you imagine if they said, listen, we're grown adults, we're going to these rejuvenation clinics, if we've got to use a bit of test to feel healthier, I'd rather take the testosterone than take all these other prescription drugs, which are more dangerous for me. Yeah. If all the baseballers stood there and said, listen, we're doing this, if you don't like it, we're not playing the year, so who's going to lose out there? The baseball teams, the promoters, everyone. So, like I said, the athletes in all walks of life have the power to make changes with things they all stood together. Or people in general around the world have power to make change if they all stood together. Now you see years ago that one guy standing in front of a tank in China, but you know, people power, if they all stood together no matter what, could make a change. You know, if the government's doing something wrong, okay, we can all sit here and bitch about it, but if we all came together and said, no, listen, we're not doing this, can you imagine just say 1 year, but throw things into turmoil, like say the government just kept taxing and taxing, then 1 year, if every Australian person just said, you know what, we're not going to pay our taxes, and no one paid tax, what are they going to do? Fine every Australian? Okay, then every Australian says we're not going to pay our fine. What are you going to do? Throw us all in jail? So I said, people have the power to make change. You know, back in the old days they used to stand together. Look at the old days when, you know, the kings and the queens would get richer and richer and the people would become poorer and poorer and starving in the streets. They ended up, you know, storming the castle and cutting the king's head off. So back in the old days, you know, when people have nothing to lose, that's what, you know, generally they'll push back. But at the moment, you know, people will complain about things with the government, but they're still sort of comfortable, so they won't push too far. They'll just bitch and moan about it at the local pub or whatever. But if people stood together, changes can be made. So, like I said, you do see these countries where people have nothing left to lose, that they do come together, you know. So that's what people need to do more, is just unite and stand as one, and they can make changes in all walks of life, not just bodybuilding, in anything in life. You know, people can make changes if they all stick together.
So, other than inspiring people to change turning people's lives around, standing up for the bodybuilders' rights and trying to improve the sport of bodybuilding and trying to make it healthier, you haven't done much for bodybuilding.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. I'm just a bitter person that likes to bitch and complain, and you know, I went to that new expo too, and I wasn't any better than the Mandalay Bay, trust me.
Talking of people power, I'd like everyone in the comment section, leave a comment about if Lee's inspired you to train, or Lee's inspired you to you know, turn your life around. And
inspired you to eat donuts, KFC.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that'd be good. We've already received many people, so here's your chance, and this will mean we'll do more videos and give.
I know fans get upset when you don't do videos, Sam. So
yeah, no, we'll you know, we'll keep putting out the truth.
Well, I said, I've always said the truth, because even back then, like, to me, working a normal job never scared me. Some pros, all they want to do is be a pro. And I'll tell people when I was a pro, like, I'd love to have a normal job, because I'd still go train either before work or after work. But like I said, you got that stability, knowing, okay, I've got a job, I've got health care, I've got this, I've got that, I've got retirement things put away. Because in bodybuilding, sometimes you might just be making enough to live, you don't have enough to put away to retire on, and stuff like that. So to me, it was like, I'd speak up, because Lee, you shouldn't say that, you might lose your contract. But to me, it's like, I didn't care. If I had to go work cleaning toilets or work, to me, I couldn't give a shit. You know, a job's a job to me. If you make money and you got food on the table, like I said, I couldn't care what the job was. So to me, losing contracts or doing whatever, being suspended, never bothered me. Whereas other people, they're like, oh, I would never do that because I lose my contract. It's like, I couldn't give a shit. So I said, working a normal job, no matter what it is, like I said, if it was cleaning gutters, cleaning toilets, you know, nothing's beneath me. To me, a job's a job, so I couldn't care less. Like I said, that's why I've always just been myself, because it didn't scare me not to lose contracts and stuff. It just didn't bother me. So, like I said, other people out there won't speak up because they want to be top pros, they want to have good contracts. But to me, it's like, you know, they said, people need to stand together. And you can say the same, like I said, negative about bodybuilding, but I've been that way from day one about, like I said, anything in your life. It's the same with the government. If I see the government shitting on people, I've always spoke out about that. So it's not just bodybuilding that he goes on about. So, like I said, I just hate seeing people walked over and treated wrong in any aspect of life. So I've always been that way.